What's up, y'all? This is Paycheck and Red.
And we just wanted to hop on real quick and let you know about Roughneck Beard Company.
As the epitome of growth, beards are often the first impression. Roughneck believes that to make the best impression on the world, that beard should represent you. They believe that every man should have the tools they need to reach their own beard excellence and the confidence to grow personally alongside their facial hair. Itchy, dry, and patchy beards are a problem that no man should have to live with in order to be bearded and proud.
Roughneck Beard Company uses locally sourced, as often as possible, 100% all natural and organic ingredients combined with a fine-tuned balance of science and art to pack the most beard benefit into each of their premium products. Roughneck Beard Company are facial hair professionals. They know beards and mustaches inside and out, and they offer that knowledge to you via these products, in hopes that every beard and beard-to-be will find the tools for the job readily available.
You can go find Roughneck at roughneckbeardcompany.com
and put in promo code Paycheck15 to save 15% off of your order.
Growth in all things.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Johnny Paycheck coming at you from the dirty Duval. It's a great day here in the Sunshine State, so I want to jump on and tell you to quit wasting time going to smoke shops and jiffy stores to get your smoking materials. Enjoy your day and have that shit sent right to your house. Keep it simple, stoner. Stop spending all your De Niro, Scratch, Skrilla, whatever you call it, on all that shit too, and go to dollarblazeclub.com and use promo code CWPR25 and get 25% off. That's the highest discount you'll see anywhere. And if there's one thing the Red knows, it's how high. Timbo!
What's up, party people? This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
An inappropriate comedy podcast.
Have you ever taken a photo of your own butthole?
Do you enjoy the smell of hot dog water?
Do you have random conversations about dildos?
Well, this is the podcast for you.
Just two good old boys who have no holds barred conversation.
All while laughing inappropriately.
Yep, that's right, listeners. Paycheck and Red have gotten themselves into another inappropriate conversation.
3, 2, 1. Yo, what's happening? What's happening? Welcome back to the baddest podcast in the land. A place where we push envelopes and jump to conclusions. A place where two dudes talk about all the shit we're not supposed to. I'm your host, Johnny Paycheck, and as always, we have Red doing his thing on the mic.
What's up, party people? This episode is brought to you by Halloween. Trick or treat, motherfuckers.
Yeah, all of Halloween.
All of Halloween.
Every bit of it.
Every bit of it.
What's going on with you? How was your week? How's things? All that good stuff. All those questions.
It's been a pretty busy week, man.
All right, moving on. Moving on.
Okay. All right. Next.
No, I'm kidding. So everything's good. How's the family?
Pretty good, man. Youngest daughter had a volleyball tournament this weekend. They won championship shit. And then last weekend they went to one and won that one too. So they got back-to-back championships.
Aren't they back-to-back? Like, didn't they win this same tournament last year? Or a tournament?
They win a lot of tournaments. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are they the team where when they show everybody was like, oh my god, what's the team's called? What's their name?
The Billington Middle School Hawks.
The Hawks?
Yep.
I was like, oh, here come the Hawks.
Yep. They scared of them.
Fucking Hawks.
Fucking Hawks ruin everything.
So, another championship.
Yeah, two of them back to back.
So what does that mean, to get a trophy? Like a team trophy?
Yeah, big old trophy. It was
Fuck yeah.
a couple feet tall.
You know, as if they ever make it into college volleyball, you're not gonna be able to go anymore.
Why?
Have you seen what female volleyball players look like in college?
Yes, I do, and I'm actually looking forward to it.
Well, they thick, boy. They thick in there. You better not go there, boy. You gonna get in trouble.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
I don't think you're allowed to like look at the ass. I think you got to look at them from the waist up and cheer that on. Yeah.
I'm secretly cheering for the ass that's playing,
Yeah.
not the upper body that's making the points. I'm just cheering for the ass. That's all.
So what's the purpose of such tight, revealing clothes? I mean, I know not at the age that they're at now. You know, I've seen the photos. I'm not insinuating or suggesting anything, but once they get into like college and then pro and shit like that, it seems like the shorts get shorter and the asses get fatter.
Just for flexibility and like total movement without their clothes binding them up, I would imagine.
See, bubble booties just don't scream flexibility to me. Like I wouldn't think somebody who's got thick gowns like that would be able to stretch it out like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, they do though.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm glad you asked. You don't normally ask, man, so I appreciate that.
So how you doing?
I'm doing well. Blessedness.
Blessedity? Is that even a word?
By the most holy, the most high. How high?
Blessedity.
Huh? Yeah.
Blessedity. Frank, is that a word? Can he use? What did you call it? Blessedity. Can he use that? Is that a word?
Blessedity for 300, please, Frank.
He says it's not, but he'll allow it.
Fuck you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. Things are going well. Back at work, on the grind. My homeboy's still not doing good. He's laid up in the damn hospital. He severed the brain stem. So the part that he severed is the part, unfortunately, that operates his body, like tells his body to breathe, tells his body to move. You know what I mean? All that shit. Mm-hmm. So actually, man, it's I've been contemplating on riding, to be honest with you. Like I chose to ride. Like I'm gonna ride. But there was a moment where I was like, yo, my man even had a helmet on and look at the boat that he's in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like you have a moment of clarity, and and you really evaluate the situation. You know, like, okay, this is like I like cocaine. You know what I'm saying? But I know cocaine can kill me. You know what I mean? So I don't do cocaine. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But riding, it's like I kind of get the same euphoric sensation. You know what I'm saying? From like cocaine, all the drugs that I've done, all the pussy I've ever had, all the drugs I've ever done. Like it's up there with them, man. It's up there with them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep riding.
Oh, so I was gonna say, anybody listening, Paycheck's motorcycle's up for sale. All you have to do is contact us at paycheckandred@gmail.com.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening. I'm probably this is my first like bobber type bike. You know what I mean? So I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna keep this one. It'll be in the garage, you know what I mean, and maybe pass down generation to generation, I guess.
Yeah, you'll go out there and crank it up just to listen to it chop for a few minutes, cut it off.
You know, because my arthritis in my hips just won't let me throw that leg over anymore. Right. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about what we're doing tonight. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, this is our quote unquote Halloween special.
But you didn't throw the quote unquote gang signs up. I think you got to use the gang signs when you say quote unquote. Yeah, yeah, right. I think that's
there you go. Yeah. Air quotes.
Yeah, there it is. Air quotes, not gang signs.
Definitely not a gang. I don't know what gang that would be.
Yeah, I apologize about that, y'all. I don't want y'all to think in any way, shape, or form that old Paycheck here supports, any kind of gang violence or anything like that. It's just not one of the things that I'm into. I like riding Harleys, okay? I steal. I don't kill. So yeah, we're excited about this episode today. We have he would be considered a guest host.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, he's gonna get in here. He's gonna chop it up with us. It's he started off as a friend of Red's, and I'm grateful that I get to be in his presence. That we've chopped it up. I've chit-chatted with him a little bit. He's a good dude. He's actually pretty popular in the podcast community. Red, you want to introduce your friend?
Oh yeah, this is Mr. Delvin Cox. What's up, Delv?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm doing
Paycheck
great.
and Red. How you guys doing, man? You guys doing good?
Doing well, doing well. I apologize about the how Red, how he look at this. I'm sorry. All right, we'll go ahead. I'm sorry, Red. Sorry. Doing well, man. Doing well. Blessed.
Are you done?
Yeah,
Can we move on now?
yeah, we're moving on. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry, Frank.
What's up, Frank?
All right, Red. Let's get this thing started. What are we doing? What's this thing? What is all this about? Why is Delvin here?
Well, he's a friend of ours. You just told everybody.
Yeah, I know. What are we gonna talk about? Are we just chopping it up?
Well, Delvin here, that I found out, is a retired drug dealer slash.
Whoa. Street philanthropist.
Oh, excuse me. Street philanthropist. I forgot to mention that. He is a street philanthropist. There you go.
Have them crackers blowing up my spot.
Yeah, we gotta keep it PC. Okay, we gotta keep it PC.
PC, yeah. Excuse me. Street philanthropist. My bad. Turned medium. And he also hosts his own podcast. Delvin, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, that's quite the introduction.
I'm a medium and I host my own podcast.
Is there an echo in here? Is there an echo in here?
So you were once a drug dealer.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Philanthropist. What the fuck?
What was it again?
Nigga out here trying to live.
Yeah. What was it again? I'm sorry.
Street philanthropist.
Yeah, a street philanthropist, and a medium, which we'll get to that in a minute. I'm not even sure what that means.
Yes,
and you host a podcast, so you're in familiar territory.
Yes, I'm in very familiar territory. I talk to ghosts. That's what a medium is, essentially.
What? Wait,
yes, like Miss Cleo and shit.
What? So
how
does a drug or a street philanthropist go from that to being a medium?
Well, as you know, as a street philanthropist, sometimes you lose a lot of friends. So I got to talk to them sometimes, let them know how the block is feeling and stuff like that. So I kind of developed that ability. I'm like an X-Man.
So instead of pouring out 40s for your dead homies, you just call them motherfuckers up.
Essentially, yes. I just pass it right to them.
Wow, that's crazy as hell. I bet you don't hear about that often. You know what I mean? Somebody in that I'm gonna call it a trade, if you will. I mean, it's a trade. The what is it? I'm
street philanthropist.
Yeah, I got the street. I mean, but it's the philanthropist.
Yes, I'm like Bill Gates and somebody used to sell crack.
Yeah. 2 for 30, 3 for 50 all day long, baby.
Damn right.
All right, so I'd be lying if I wasn't intrigued by the whole medium thing. So this means that you contact ghosts, like people in the afterworld.
Anybody you want to talk to in the afterlife, I can contact. I'm your man.
Shit, do we even want to do this?
It's kind of fucking interesting to me. Like, I want to know. I mean, who do you contact? Anybody? Like celebrities? Anybody?
Anybody you can think of in your mind.
But they have to be dead, I guess.
Yes, that's the only caveat. They have to be fucking dead.
They have to be dead.
Yeah, it'd be a little embarrassing if we interviewed a ghost and we found out he was still alive. Like 2 weeks later, we'll have to make what do they call it when you have to get back on the newspaper and like you got to say sorry, I was wrong or whatever.
Public apology.
A redaction.
Yeah. Maybe he'll call in. Like, hey, yo, I'm still alive, motherfuckers.
I don't know who y'all talking to, but it ain't me.
Yeah.
So if you can conjure spirits and all that, can you just randomly conjure somebody, or do we have to specifically tell you?
I can randomly conjure somebody you want me to.
Wait. I'm still trying to wrap my. So
nigga, I can randomly conjure somebody. That's what I'm telling you. What? I got the ability. I got the motherfucking glow.
So how does one so at a certain age you realize that you can do this, or how did this happen?
You see the little white cracker from the movie The Shining? I'm kind of like him. At a young age, I knew I could do shit.
I'm totally intrigued right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Y'all want to do it? We can fucking do it. We can fucking call whoever you want to call, like a motherfucking Domino's Pizza.
Hold on, let me pray real quick.
Can we hold hands real quick? Can we hold hands and pray?
Dear Father, I ask you to bless this house today. All right, yeah, I actually
lay your
did that.
healing hands upon CWPR.
Yeah, yo, I actually did that when I moved into my new house. Before any furniture, I've got this crucifix, like it's literally hanging in my front, right above my front door. So I went to the house with Sage, like that little dwarf on the Poltergeist. And when I was done, I was like, "This house is clear."
I have exorcised the demon.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm fairly comfortable that anything you conjure up, will not have the ability to infiltrate my Dell system over here. So
I don't think your firewall covers spirits.
yeah. Let me make sure my antivirus is up to date real quick before we get down.
Right.
All right, let me calm down here. I got a little excited. That's my bad, listeners. My voice tends to get into this high pitched kind of damn squeal thing going on. You know what I mean? So let me back it on down. Let's create the scene here, okay? What we're attempting to do is we're gonna have our boy Delvin conjure up some spirits, some ghosts, some goblins. No, goblins are a tangible thing, right?
Wait a minute. Hold on. We ain't conjuring no damn goblins now.
I just goblins.
Like motherfuckers after midnight. Don't get them wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want Cuz from down the street, if he can conjure up somebody famous, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, but not goblins.
I can conjure up ghosts. I can conjure up goblins. I can conjure up crack fiends. You pick what you want.
Yeah, I don't want
crack fiend. Let's talk to that motherfucker.
Yeah, we don't want no goblins, okay?
So crack fiends are still on the table.
Yeah. If there are any crack fiends in the room right now, feel free to tap Red on his shoulder anytime you want to participate.
I don't know about that now.
You got any more of that door creaking?
Oh man.
All right, calm down, guys.
Got any more of them long dark hallways?
Oh man, y'all killer. Listen, my man is not gonna be able to conjure up if we don't get serious. Okay, listen.
All right, sorry.
It's mind, body, and soul. Okay, you got to get tuned. You got to get yourself in tune with the ether. And what do I know? I'm not the one that can go.
Yeah. You got to get in tune.
Right.
You got to be quiet while I
Frank, dim the lights real quick, Frank. Frank, dim the lights.
It's
dim the light. There you go.
Difficult process. And any distractions can throw the whole thing off.
Should we light some candles?
Lighting candles.
Yeah, we already had Frank dim the light, so that part's good. We're good on that.
You don't mind if I jerk off while you conjure, do you?
As long as it doesn't hit
my dick out real quick, do you?
As long as it doesn't hit me, I'm fine. Spray that shit any way you want to.
All right, cool. I'm just setting boundaries here. That's all. I'm trying to figure everything out. The do's and don'ts of ghost conjuring.
Yeah, rule number 1 of ghost conjuring etiquette: don't ever pull your dick out.
Yeah.
Don't hit the person conjuring with your dick.
Yeah, there you go. That's rule number 2. There you
go. Yeah. He'd be done fucked up and send us into a different dimension.
Yeah.
There's somebody on the other of this dimension talking, hey, y'all want to fucking conjure up 3 dumb motherfuckers? Here, for some reason, there are 3 guys doing a podcast right now. Let's get them dumb motherfuckers over here.
Right. All right, Delvin. Sorry, man.
All right, yeah, let's calm down.
Y'all ready? Now everybody's quiet. Close your eyes while I say this chant, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Frank,
would you turn that big fucking light off in there?
Yeah, Frank, you gotta turn the light off.
Sorry about that.
No problem at all. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Nabu still. Shower the world in the room. Yabba 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 yabba. Yabba 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 yabba. Yabba 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 yabba. God's gonna touch up in the water. Yabba 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 yabba. More fire! Yabba 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 yabba. Yabba 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 yabba. God's gonna catch him in the water. Feel it coming. Feel it fucking coming. You guys feel it?
Dude, I am totally freaked out right now.
Yeah, I don't know what to do right now.
So there's a ghost in the room right now?
Yeah, he's here. He's fucking here, man. Just let me know what you want me to ask him, and I will translate it for you.
Shit, Red, you want to go first? Who's going first here?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and start, I guess.
Okay.
Are you really a ghost?
Ooh.
Okay. He says, "Of course I'm a fucking ghost. What is this? Who signed me up for this bullshit?" I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to apologize because he kind of little feisty, a little upset right now.
All right. Sorry, Red. What kind of damn question was that?
I don't know, man. My bad. I had to check the validity of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So let's see. Question number 2. Let's see.
Give him a question. Anything you want to give him.
Who are you? And
Ooh. Yeah.
He says he's the little boy that fell in the well that Lassie was talking about.
Lassie. Who the fuck is Lassie?
You meant like the dog from
The
TV
crack ass dog. Yes, Lassie, the fucking crack ass dog. The dog who used to save all the white kids and shit, never helped the black kids. That's what we talking about. Lassie.
Timmy? Timmy's in the well?
That was the little great girl boy named Timmy.
Yo, holy shit. So this is fucking Timmy. Dude, this is so fucking weird right now.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. So Timmy, the little kid, is in the room right now.
Yeah. Dude, he's a little kid. Dude, we gotta ask him.
Any questions for him?
Yeah, we gotta ask him.
I don't know if we should ask him that question or not, dude.
Dude, you gotta ask.
All right, Timmy, if you're in the room, did you ever let Lassie lick your penis?
Dude, I can't believe you really asked that.
I gotta ask him ghost and shit. Okay. He says he's done. He doesn't want anything to do with these dumb fucking questions. Said fuck it. He's done. He's out of here.
Oh man, I knew that was gonna happen, motherfucker.
Fuck him, man.
Dude,
He's a little kid. He's probably not allowed to have conversations like that. He don't want to talk about his little penis.
Yeah, fuck Timmy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck you,
I think-
Timmy.
I think I might have found myself on a ghost pedophile registration or something, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe I don't think you should be asking little kids questions about their little penises and if it was or was not in a dog's mouth.
Little ghost white kids. That's not a good idea. Them the ones that get you in trouble.
Yeah, that was probably a bad idea.
Them damn snitching ass little kids right there. What? All right, so fuck him. Let's get somebody else then. Can you
Let
get
me
anybody
see
else?
if I can get somebody else in. Let me see. Yabba 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 yabba. Yabba 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 yabba. Yabba 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 yabba. God's gonna catch him. Oh shit! Somebody else is in here. Somebody else is here. Strong. I get a
There's
strong
another one already?
sensation. Yeah, he's a big one, to say the least. I don't. Yeah, you guys got any questions for him? This is a pretty strong spirit.
You want to take this one, Paycheck?
Yeah. Are you really a ghost?
He says, "Fuck yeah, he's a ghost."
Well, that was a simple enough question. We apologize for whoever this is, so I'm going to go ahead and ask. Who are you, and how did you die? What is your name, and how did you die?
Okay, that's right. He says his name is John Holmes.
The porn dude?
Yeah, he says he was big in the porn industry back in the day. Yeah, fucking
Yeah, he
John
was.
Holmes.
That motherfucker had a horse cock on him back in the day.
Well,
Yeah,
I did say
He
it was a
big in the
presence
porn
in the room.
industry, all right.
You
Yeah,
know?
it was a big presence in the room. Apparently, this was his cock. Apparently,
So his
ass
cock is
ghost
the
cock.
presence. What, his cock is the presence in the room?
apparently so. I said it was a big presence in the room, but apparently it was his giant ghost cock.
Yeah, keep your mouth closed. No yawning. Don't yawn. Red, don't yawn. Do
Sorry.
not open your mouth.
I am super tired, man. I should yawn right now.
You said, how did he die?
Yeah.
He says something about he died fucking.
Fucking. John Holmes? Well, he wasn't porn, but how would he die of fucking?
Oh shit! AIDS! Yikes!
Oh, shit. Wait. So, John Holmes, who was one of the biggest porn guys back in the day, died of AIDS, but Magic Johnson, that motherfucker's still walking around to this day with that shit, ain't he?
I believe so. He's just in the wrong time period, I think.
Yeah, wait a minute. What I want to know is, how big is his dick really?
I think he said 3 feet.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wait a minute. 3 feet.
3 feet. Yeah, that's what he says. Fucking 3 feet.
Can you imagine the amount of lubricant that was necessary for this monstrous of a dude?
Oh man, 3 feet. Come on. All right, wait a minute. Okay. So, Mr. Holmes, if you're still in the room, if your dick is really 3 feet, can you knock something over in the room with your dick? Can you do that?
Oh shit!
Dude, my whole fucking whiteboard just come off the wall.
What?
But I think he's standing over there by you.
By me? No.
Yo, you gotta be careful with that shit. I don't want no AIDS dick touching me. Fuck that.
No.
Could you imagine having a 3-foot cock?
A 3 foot AIDS cock at that.
Like, think about all the
3-foot AIDS cock.
think about all the anuses he split.
Yeah, but just because it was 3 feet, so he says, doesn't mean it was girthy. It could have been like average size dick girth. It couldn't have been that bad.
So he had like a key dick.
Yeah, a key dick.
It was like one of them old school keys.
Dick John Holmes.
Yeah, they used to lock castles and shit.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
Fucking John Holmes.
is he still here?
he sounds pretty mad. He doesn't appreciate the key dick and the AIDS dick jokes. He's fucking up. I think he's gonna fucking leave.
Yeah, fuck you anyway. We like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He knows how to maneuver around AIDS, motherfucker.
Right? Evidently, Magic Johnson had more money than John Holmes did.
Apparently so. Old key dick over here's got AIDS. Fuck him.
Key dick. Oh, Key Dick John.
Key dick. Oh man, that is too good. All right. Well, we appreciate you conjuring up spirits. I can only imagine how much that must be rough on the body, on the mind, and on the soul. So we appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that my house is gonna need some sort of sage. Maybe some Newport smoke. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go through this motherfucker blowing Newport smoke all around the place.
So you ain't burning sage, you burning Newports?
Yeah, Newports. Let me get a poke.
Lysol to get that AIDS dick odor out of here.
Yeah.
Fucking AIDS dick up here infecting the whole house and shit.
Yeah, I think there's some pre-cum on that slid across my damn wall in the hallway.
You got some what do they call it? Slime or shit, snail, slug, slime,
Yeah.
shit across your table.
Fucking
Yeah, no, all the way down
slimer
to
ass John Holmes.
Yeah.
what a dick.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah, pun intended. All right, so let's be done with that. We have Mr. Delvin Cox, who is not the drug dealer, by the way, and not the medium. You know, he's this other guy that we got in here today.
Yeah. Just the regular guy.
Yeah. So what's up, podcasting, man? What's the name of your podcast?
The podcast is called the Delvin Cox Experience. It's just me. It's like an interview podcast. I think I like the fact that my podcast is very accessible to everybody. It doesn't matter what race, religion you are, what political background you are. I'm willing to talk to any and everybody. And I think that's the cool thing with my podcast.
Give us 3 title episodes or episode titles.
Okay. State of America series, part 1, 2, and 3 are some of the ones that people talk about the most. And I think it's because at the time I did it was the perfect time for to have these conversations. And the State of America series is basically a series I did about how people feel about America today. And one of the things I did was I did one episode talking strictly to white people in general. So the whole process was me getting different interviews, smaller interviews from different white people, how they feel about America today. And the second part was 4 parts, if I remember correctly. Second part was people from other countries and how they look at America today. So I got their intake on how they feel about things. The third part was Latinos and so forth. And then the final part of the series after I did the 5-part series. I'm tripping. But the final part of the series, bottom line, was me getting these groups together, with like certain people together to talk about the series and how they feel about America and their differences.
I think I remember you doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All on one episode? Like they called
all on
in?
one episode. No, we all chopped it up together. We had a big conversation about race, gun control, everything like that. All our differences, and we kind of hashed it out on the episode. We didn't agree on everything. That wasn't the point of it. The point of it was for us to find that middle ground to like, hey, this guy may be a Republican, but just because he thinks this way doesn't mean he's not a good person. Or this guy may be a Democrat, doesn't mean he's a clucker or some shit like that, a social justice warrior. He's just the guy who kind of wants his things done. I think that's one of the biggest problems with our country today. We kind of put labels on each other when I think it's more of a bigger thing than that. It's a bigger issue. Just because you're a Republican or a Democrat doesn't mean you're not a good person.
Yeah, and see, that's a good point. In that, what aggravates me about all the topics that you just mentioned is that we are a melting pot. We are known as the melting pot, and what that means is that many different cultures and religions and morals and values and all this, these are all people come from a wide variety of geographical locations with their own religious and political beliefs and opinions. So to think,
hold back up for a minute.
Well,
Did you
hold
say
on, just-
religical?
Yes, you said religical.
Did I say religical?
You said religical.
Nice. Feel free to leave that one in.
Feel dumber having heard it. Thanks.
Oh, is this payback right now? Is this what we're doing?
No, I'm just saying. Religical. Who says that? but you. You know
Apparently,
what
some dummy on a damn podcast.
Evidently.
Anywho, this is a melting pot. So for someone to think that everybody's going to get along and everybody's going to have the same beliefs is just ridiculous to me. What a lot of people fail to realize when they're talking about this topic is that all this shit has been going on since the beginning of time.
Yes.
The hatred, the wars, the pedophilia, the what is it? When a man that has multiple wives, polygamy.
Yeah,
All this,
you hit it on the head.
Yeah, all this shit has been super normal, and natural since the beginning of time. It's not until maybe our generation, or maybe our parents' generation, or maybe our grandparents' generation, where they started talking. Think about how many kings married and had sex with 13-year-olds.
Yeah, that was a normal practice back then.
Yeah, so
Sad
when we
but true.
talk, yeah, so
So did Jerry Lee Lewis.
and so did Elvis Presley.
And Elvis Presley. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So this isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. I believe there came a point in time where somebody tried to say, okay, listen, this is too much. You know, we're going too far right here. This now is immoral and inhumane. You know, to do these things to this age group. You know what I mean? So it's in my opinion, and I'm a world traveler. I don't even think there's something that's called racism. I know that it exists or whatever, but I think it's called something else. I think it's actually called hatred. Nobody really dislikes somebody because of the color of their skin. They dislike a person of color, and I'm talking about a white guy. A white guy would dislike a guy who has a different skin tone to him based on what his parents told him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what they're actually spreading hate. The hate just happens to involve a skin color.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
I
get
know I'm
exactly what
kind
you're
of
saying.
going deep, or whatever. But I grew up around black folks, and I talk to black folks today because I'm a people person. I have these conversations, and a very minor amount of black folks that I talk to have even experienced racism themselves. Now I know that there is racism out there, and I know people experience racism. But how much is being thrown in our face by social media and political agendas and you know what I mean, a want or a desire to start chaos within a society. You know what I mean?
Well,
Am I way
I can
out?
answer a
Am
little
I
bit
way
for
out
you.
left field here?
I can answer a little bit of that for you because we as black people have been designed to stay in our own box because when we go outside, there's a certain fear that, hey, we're going to be persecuted or ridiculed. Like, for example, you just said earlier, you grew up around black people. You grew up in the neighborhoods and you were essentially accepted because we knew, okay, this guy, yeah, he's white, but it doesn't matter. Because that's the thing I've always said about black people. Once we accept you into our culture, we love you, we'll ride or die with you, we are loyal as fuck. But when we don't know you, we are very leery. And that's how we are as a society. Like, we'll sit there and that's one of the reasons why black people don't vote because we see the system not working for us. So we say, fuck it, we don't want to be a part of the system. And I think that plays into a lot of things that, because there's a lot of bad stereotypes about black people. A lot of things about you see on TV where you think, oh, only black people just gang bang and murder and things like that. And this completely blown out of proportion because, like I said, you've lived in the hood and you see this, it's poverty.
Yeah.
And when you live in poverty, that's what people do live in poverty. It's not necessarily a black or white thing. It's just it's a poverty thing. When you don't have no food on your table for your kids, and you're like, hey, I gotta do something to survive. Some people say, hey, I'm gonna play basketball. Some people say I'm gonna play football. Some people say I'm gonna box. Some people say I'm gonna sell drugs because drugs gonna get me money right then and there so I can support my family. And yeah, they're hurting their own community, but they're hurting their own community to feed their mother, to feed their brothers and sisters. And it's like kind of a survival of the fittest thing. And that's the thing that's kind of lost on people.
But let me compliment on top of the comments that you just made by saying that the people that you talked about you know they're in poverty and they grew up in housing projects or you know in the hood and they don't you know they either gonna shoot ball, they're gonna rap, they're gonna sell dope, but a lot of them choose dope because that's what they watch their uncles and their dad do.
Yes.
And their uncles and their dad watch their uncles and their dad sell dope. So a lot of these people, and I know them firsthand. A lot of people don't know that there is something outside the hood, because like I've known people that will die for a street that they don't even fucking own, or a building or a block that they don't even own. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Somebody else owns that. Matter of fact, they pay to live there.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers will shoot up people for their block or their hood or their street or their building. You know what I mean? But it's because they don't. So in my opinion, and I'll make this real short because I got a lot of opinions on this. But what happens is that now I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a tinfoil hat wearing guy, but I do believe that society is removing the black man from the home, putting him in prison, collecting money on him being in prison, while his family is at home alone with no financial support, no physical support. You know what I'm saying? No male role model for the kids. And then they say, okay, well, don't worry because here's an EBT card and here's some HUD housing. I'm going to take care of you, girl. I got your whole family on lock. This is the government talking and society talking. So eventually that family becomes dependent on that government and depending on that HUD housing and depending on that EBT card. So before long, you know what I'm saying? It's a trap. Now I got you. Now you Democrat did that for you or Republican did that for you. So you see who the racists are, and you see who the people's looking out for the black community. Look at all this free stuff I gave you, the Obama phone, the EBT cards, all that stuff. So now, a lot of people in politics, they think that they just bought the black vote.
Yeah,
But
I feel like you just took a jab at Barack Obama just now.
No, not at all. He provided a service, a phone. I mean, there are people out here with no phones, can't even call 911. You know what I mean? If they OD or they're homeless or whatever. So the Obama phone allowed homeless people to be able to contact family.
Why you gotta call it the Obama phone though? You can't
that's
just
what it was called, wasn't it?
That's what society calls it.
It's the Lifeline Assistance Phone, but yeah, it's called the Obama phone.
Yeah.
It's called the Obama phone. They give you like
I know none of them fucking Bushes did nothing like that. Oh,
Yeah, I
Never
think-
seen no Bush phone.
But you're absolutely correct. I think, because every time you look at history, whether it's the Black Panthers or Black Wall Street, you see a point in history where black people were trying to bring themselves up. It's always a point where they only get so far where society just knocks them back down, or where they pump drugs to their communities because they don't really want us to get to that level. It's not necessarily I don't think it's a fear thing. I think it's we need to keep you at this level because. And somebody said it to me a while back, and it really stuck with me. I don't remember who it was who said it. I wish I could quote who they said it. But this is what they basically told me. They said this is how the government operates and works. As long as we can tell the poor white trash that they're better than the poor black people, they're going to always support us. And as long as we can tell the poor white black people, hey, don't worry about it. You can stay on food stamps and stuff. They're going to always be quiet and do what they need to do. It's a checks and balances system, and I think that's one of the things, whether you like him or not, that Trump gets right in terms of he rallies poor white people and tells them, "Hey, we're gonna do right by you," even though he doesn't really do shit for them. But he rallies them up and he incites them to feel like, "Hey, we're important." And I feel like that's where what our government's been missing out, even though. It often gets mentioned how black people are poor, disenfranchised, and we commit all these crimes and stuff. But there are a lot of poor white people out there doing the same exact shit.
Yep.
Yo, listen, man, I cannot believe how right that man. You could not have said a more truer statement. So, all the things that you just said, when I try to be empathetic and compassionate, and I try to put myself in the shoes of the person I'm talking to, especially when it deals with racism and if they are a black person. Now, I choose to use the word black because all my friends say I'm black. I'm not African American. Whatever you want me to call you, I don't give a shit. I call you Anthony, or you know what I'm saying, my best friend, or the dude next door. You know what I mean? But I remember being in the hood, and I was new to the hood. I was still trying to figure things out. I was young. We had just started bagging up dime bags. You know what I mean? And we thought we was cool. We'd have us a little piece that we stole from our dad, you know what I mean? We had a little 38 or whatever tucked in the belt. A homeboy had, a pocket full of dime bags or whatever. We were literally walking down the road in our neighborhood in broad daylight, drinking 40s and smoking blunts. So what do you think happens to young men? Let's not even worry about the color of them yet. What do you think the neighbors and the people who live in that neighborhood think when they see 15 youth walking down the street, clowning, drinking 40, smoking blunts? You know what I'm saying? So the law gets called, right?
Of course.
So sure enough, police shows up, 2 deep, side by side down a residential area. They are not playing. I got thrown on the hood with all my homeboys. There wasn't at no point did any officer say, hey there, a white fella, come over here and stand in the grass while we conduct our business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no white card. There was no white privilege. There was none of that. It was me and my homeboys. We was, doing dirt together, and they threw us on the cop car and they illegally detained and searched us, together. Not a white dude and a black dude.
Wait a minute. Well, you said illegally. Why was that illegal?
Because we weren't doing anything illegal.
Were you of age to drink alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's public intoxication.
Yeah, but
That's illegal.
Yeah, no, we throw it. We get you know what I'm saying? We know when the police is coming, you know what I'm saying? You don't think we just 40 tipped up when the police pull up on us, do you? Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Don't mind the 40 in the tracks.
Evidently, somebody called the law on y'all's ass because y'all was doing something you wasn't supposed to.
Right. Exactly. So
it was a legal search and seizure.
Yes. Okay. Listen, but potatoes.
Labels on the police, okay? We ain't doing that today.
No, listen, that's a sub conversation for this conversation about, do law enforcement even know law? You realize that you have to go. How many years do you think an attorney has to go to school to learn law? How many years?
About 12 years.
You're talking about college and law school, right?
No, I'm talking about the law book he bought at Walmart. It takes him 12 years to read that.
Who? I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm talking about college and fucking law school. What the hell you think I'm talking about?
I don't think it's 12 years.
His friends didn't teach him law. The fucking college and the law school did. Yeah, it's about 12 years. Look it up.
Okay. Well, I thought you did. I mean, we talked about this before the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know a couple lawyers, and I know how long it takes to go to college.
Okay. Do you know any law enforcement officers?
I do.
Okay. How long did it take for them to go through the police academy before they got to walk the beat?
Man, I'm a couple years maybe.
No. Like 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just they went to fucking police academy. I don't know how long that takes.
My point to this is that it according to Red's dictionary, it takes 12 years for a lawyer to go through school and learn law.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Hold on.
Wait.
Hey, Google.
Wait a minute. That's not my point.
How long does it take to become a lawyer?
Is Siri there?
According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, becoming a lawyer usually takes 7 years of full-time study after high school, 4 years of undergraduate study, followed by 3 years of law school.
Like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, that was so far from my point.
I know the point Paycheck's trying to make, though. I know exactly what he's trying to make.
So you have law enforcement who pulls you over for violation of law. Yet the only law school that they've been through is the police academy in 6 weeks or 6 months, whatever. It's definitely not years. So, when you say illegally or legally, most people don't know the law when it comes to law enforcement. They just follow the sheep and they do what they're told. Now you can attack that situation in many different ways. You could succumb to the governing body and do what you're told. And if you're a Christian, you follow scripture, and in scripture it tells you, if you're a follower of Jesus Christ, then you obey the law of the land. Or you are an anarchist, an anti-government, anti-establishment, person who believes that, okay, I'm a child of God and I'm free to walk this land and I'm free to eat the animals of this land and I'm able to gather fruits and vegetables from this land without a fucking government I should be able to walk down the fucking road without police walking up on me asking me what I'm doing. It's none of your fucking business what I'm doing. I'm walking down the damn road. I'm not bothering anybody. So it is at that point.
But it was a gang of y'all.
I know, but listen, you keep going back. I'm past that already. We're talking about legally detaining or illegally detaining. You do not have to show your license to somebody, to a law enforcement that comes up and says, "Hey, what are y'all doing? Let me see some ID."
Yeah, you have to have probable cause.
Right. That's typical. And listen, my wife is retired military police. Her and I, we disagree a little bit because I come from the hood. My interaction with law enforcement has always been negative. However, when I talk to other people and we're having this conversation about law enforcement, they've had nothing but a positive interaction with law enforcement. So there's many different ways that you can attack the whole law enforcement, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. I believe
because my brother's a cop, and I've had awful experiences with law enforcement, so I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, well, so they my point to all that, getting back to Red keeps bringing up when I was in my early 20s and hood hiking is what I called it. They would throw me on the car just like the rest of them because I
Even
was
more so.
yeah, well, it's because and I try to explain this to my kids because when they watch the news they see this couple slaughtered in apartments. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh my God, a couple minding their own business was slaughtered in their apartment." And I'm like, "No, that's not what happened at all. What happened is that couple got fucked up in some business they shouldn't have been in, drug dealing, cheating, you know what I'm saying, whatever the situation is, and that's why they got the door kicked in and they was so you are the company that you keep. If you're hanging out in an area where they're selling drugs and they're gangbanging, then you should expect to be illegally detained, searched, and hassled. So me, for example, to omit all that from my life, I go to work and I come home. I'm not out at midnight.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
dude,
there's
going back to this same situation that I keep going back to. You didn't go peacefully, either way. You was slinging some motherfuckers, and you was fighting with him and trying to get him to get off of you and all that shit. So you wasn't illegally detained.
I get what
You need to
Paycheck's
come
trying
off
to
of
say.
that shit.
What he's trying to say is, for every situation where there's a paycheck and he probably should have been detained, there's a situation where there's a group of kids who aren't doing nothing, who get detained and get harassed for hours on end by police because they live in that area.
Because they fit the description.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem with everything. Because, like I said, Paycheck and they were drinking and things like that. That's one scenario. But there could be another group of kids who literally aren't doing shit but just walking in the neighborhood, walking home from school, and then and I've seen it happen. This happened to me before. Police stop you. They want to search you. They want to check you, and you're literally not doing anything but going home from school. And that's where the problem lies. I think one of the ways you can solve that is simply just have police communicate with the neighborhood, or have people who from the neighborhood police the neighborhood.
Yeah, that way that little badass kid still has an opportunity to live his life, regardless of him being a badass little kid, because we were all badass little kids at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what always angers me is the fact that when it's a kid like that who's a troubled kid, people have no sympathy for him. But you have situations in court where a guy gets convicted of rape, and the judge is like, well, he has his whole life ahead of him. We don't want to be too hard on him.
Yeah. But see, and that's another thing about law. Did you know that an officer has what's the expression? It's up to his discrepancy to write you a ticket or not, or to detain you or not. Yeah. So think about what that means, man. That means these motherfuckers aren't even following law.
Yeah, it's up to them whether they want to let you go or not. They can literally let you go.
How crazy is that? Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate being let go with a warning, on a fucking ticket. You know what I mean? But if there's law, then it should be black and white, no gray fucking areas. If I'm speeding, I expect to be pulled over and given a ticket for speeding. So, you know what I mean?
And
so
some cops do that, by the way. Some cops definitely do that.
Well, my thing is that law enforcement, this is supposed to be law. Yeah, they're like, oh, well, it's my decision if I get to enforce that law or not. That's crazy to me.
Depends on the situation, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if law is law. In theory,
there's different levels of law. There's no reason to take a man to jail for a speeding ticket.
Right. No, but that's not law. Law doesn't dictate that you go to jail over a speeding ticket.
Yeah, but if while you getting that speeding ticket, you physically assault the police officer or you speed away, then that's reason to fucking arrest your ass and detain you. But just for a regular routine stop, unless you do something to give him a reason to arrest you, there's no reason to do it.
I know, but listen.
But I see these motherfuckers out here pushing the boundaries of that. I ain't got to give you shit. I ain't got to do shit. Fuck that. You got stopped by the law. Follow the fucking laws or don't get stopped.
I will say this.
If you do get stopped, abide by the fucking rules of the road and give the man your shit. Figure out what's going on so you can let go and on about your merry way.
I will say this about those type of things. I can understand people going to jail for speeding tickets in terms of like they're really speeding.
Mm-hmm.
But certain things I don't understand the logic behind. Like, for example, if you have a suspended license or something like that, or like you don't have insurance and they just pull you over, there's no reason to take that person to jail.
Yeah,
No.
I agree with that.
Shit like that, if it's something that minor,
Yeah.
there's no reason to take it. Now, if it's habitual, that's a different story.
Yo,
But-
you're right. Because when I was in prison, there was cats in there that were in prison for not paying a ticket,
Yeah, and that's
Not
insane.
not paying child support. Now, as a divorced dad and as an advocate for dads, how crazy is that? That okay, so a man right here, he can't pay. He's falling on some hard times, so he can't pay. He can't pay child support, right? But he's out there trying. He's doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? He's out there hunting for a job. But what's the court do? What's the first thing that the court does when my man is short on child support? Do y'all know?
They put him in jail.
No, that's next. But the first thing they do is they take his driver's license from him.
Yeah, they suspend your license,
So
especially in Florida.
So now I'm struggling already. Now you just took my wheels from me, and now I have no transportation. So now how am I going? Now how am I going to pay child support? Now me, I'm a truck driver. I have a Class A CDL license. So imagine if I didn't pay child support and the judge, suspended my license. So there goes my job. Now I definitely can't pay no child support. Now you want to incarcerate me. I was in there with people who fallen on some hard times and, they couldn't pay child support and they were in fucking prison with fucking murderers. It's crazy, bro.
The system is flawed. Now,
Yeah.
I completely see both sides of it in terms of you have to follow the laws and rules and regulations and certain things, but also we have to admit the fact that our system is very flawed for both sides. And this is the thing I always tell people. Yeah, it leans towards African Americans and incarcerating them. Yeah, that's very bad. But don't you? Let's go to the extreme situation. What happens when you get rid of all the black people? All the black people are gone. Well, who do you think they're gonna go for next? Once all the minorities out the way, they are going for poor white people next.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I was gonna make that. I was gonna make that point earlier when you said something about how it's white folks and black folks. That. So check this out. So you're absolutely right because I've been in the grimiest backwoods trailer parks, and the same exact thing is going down that was going down in the hood, but with a small difference. And I joke about this because it's kind of funny. When I grew up in the hood, we smoked blunts. But I was an athlete in high school. So I also hung out with, the preppy white kids and the jocks, you know what I mean? So when I went to the white folks' house, we was hitting bowls and smoking joints. Dude, I have never smoked out of a water bong or a bowl with any of my black homeboys. Never. Uh-huh.
That shit does not happen.
No, it was always blunts.
Yeah, you get a Dutch master and break it down the middle.
Yeah. Yo, we used to split them, get the tobacco out of them, and then kind of like paste the blunt wrapper with raw honey.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we would like the whole wrapper would be covered in honey and a thin glaze, on it, and then we'd roll the blunt. But then, and see, this is what a lot of people. I'm fixing to let y'all in on a little secret now. Don't be giving away all the damn secrets.
You get ready to tell the world, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, not all of it. I'm giving them this.
I mean, that don't even make no sense. Don't tell nobody. I'm getting ready to tell y'all. You get ready to tell the entire fucking world, man.
Whoever's listening, y'all can hear it, but just don't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody that you talk to that we get ready to tell you this.
Yeah, you put a flame to it once you roll it with the honey on it. Put your little flame on it. You know what I'm saying? You want to get you a nice little toasted, you know what I mean? Some black marks on it. It gets stiff. It gets hard. You don't have this flimsy little wet noodle. You know what I mean? You got. Man,
we're talking about dicks or blunts.
That thing would hit for days.
We talking about dicks or blunts here?
Yeah, I heard you. I guess you didn't notice how I just let that one go, right?
Yeah, you don't even know right now at this point.
You're like, you're not letting that one go. I'm going to repeat it.
Sounds like you get off on the process of making a blunt from flaccid to hard. Sounds like you got off on it.
And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go serious here for a second. So when you live a lifestyle like what we've been talking about for the past 10 minutes or whatever, as an adult, like, do you know how hard it is for me to be a productive member of society and do the right thing? Like, it's a conscious decision on a daily basis. And here's a perfect example. I saw a dude hit a dude's mirror when he parked at the parts store yesterday. Immediately, I was like, do I get involved? Do I say anything? You know what I'm saying? So to hood me, y'all don't fuck with the police. I ain't writing no statement. Nah, you
Oh,
can't have my phone number.
I will give you a perfect example of that. This happened to me, I want to say a month ago now. I'm driving to Walmart, right? In the middle of the street, this guy is just beating the shit out of his girlfriend. Driving down the street. He has his child in one hand. He's beating the shit out of her. So I pull over. Start screaming at the guy, yelling at the guy, hey, you can't be doing that shit, stuff like that, cussing him out and stuff like that. You can't be beating on a woman and stuff. He runs away with the child and locks the door and stuff in their house, I guess, right? I tell her to call the police and stuff like that. She calls the police. Police come down there. They're talking to the guy. They're talking to her. Police officer comes to me, hey, you want to make a statement? No, fuck that, I'm leaving. You're not going to get my name. You're not going to get my ID. I just want to make sure she was straight. Now that she's straight, I am fucking going.
Yeah.
I don't answer questions.
Am I being insane? But as an adult, as a family man, you know, it's I joke and I tell people that I now have a two thought process. The initial thought is that young, you know, wild, and you know what I mean. He's not the most dependable, responsible person. You know what I mean. So I usually, okay, well, hold on, let me wait for another thought to come into my head. And then the second one is like, well, we do have to go to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? Maybe you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But the ever since I started this MMA training, like I see dudes in there that look like office nerds and Frank, wait a minute. Can we say office? Can we say nerds? Is that PC?
You said it.
Yeah, we can say nerds.
Yeah.
Of course we can. Nerds.
But these motherfuckers will leg kick you to the face. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that because have you ever jumped out on somebody in a road rage incident, and as soon as you jumped out, you're like, "Fuck! what did I just do here? Who's making decisions here?"
Yeah. I don't think I ever have. I'm usually calculated when I do stuff like that. I don't get in road rage incidents. Only incidents I ever get into is domestic violence in terms of how situations going down. I don't never like watching the women get the shit beyond, especially in the streets where it's a busy street and nobody's gonna fucking help.
Yeah,
like I gotta do something. But for
that's
the most
good
part, I
shit,
try
though.
to stay out of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think it's a situation where I'm like, damn, man, I'm over my head. I don't think they ever have been. That's the crazy thing about it.
They never what?
Oh, that has ever been a situation where I've been like, damn, I'm over my head. I do remember one time when I was in college, and I completely regret this. This was awful. This is a fucking. I probably shouldn't admit this, but there was this guy who I was cool with. He was supposed to be fixing my PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation 2 at the time, some shit like that. And the homeboy called him up, and he said, homeboy calls me up, and he's like, hey, this motherfucker over here talking shit about you, man. He's like, I'm not fixing that shit. Fuck that nigga.
What?
Fuck it. Yeah,
This is your boy?
Yeah, this is supposed to be my boy and stuff. And he's high as fuck. So I say, hey, put him on the phone. So he puts him on the phone. Says, so what's going on with you, man? Everything okay? Man, fuck you, man. I ain't doing that shit, man. Kiss my ass and all that stuff. I say, okay. So I drive over to his house in a fit of rage. Pull out the bat that I have in my car, because I always keep a bat in my car back in those days.
Oh yeah.
I broke out all the windows in his car, tell him to bring your punk ass outside, pussy. He wouldn't come outside, so I went and kicked down the door and chased him around the house with his roommate. His roommate is crying, laughing, because he's like, you was talking all that shit on the phone, you think his ass was going to come down here.
He ain't called the police on you?
Nah, I almost beat this kid to death. I literally almost beat this kid to death.
I ain't no snitch, but you bust my windows out my car, I'm definitely calling them. I'm going to need some financial reimbursement for that. And I can't get that without a police report, so.
Yeah, it was a crazy situation. I was like, shit, I can't. And I thought, like I said, I damn near killed the kid. And I went home and I felt so guilty about, like, fuck, man, I can't be doing shit like that. I'm like, you got to just kind of control your temper. I think that's the last time I ever did something that wild before to somebody.
But the whole control thing, that's a big thing. Like, because of the way I grew up, now I live in a neighborhood, it's a pretty decent neighborhood, but I got two cats that live down the way. They sell weed out of their house. Now, look, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I believe that if you're going to sell dope, I shouldn't be able to see you selling dope. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing, but when you bring it down into the streets and I can see it going on, and you doing it all out in the open, like you don't give a fuck, that's when I have a problem. So the way my house is set up, I can be sitting on the couch watching TV, and I can look right out my window, and I can look all the way down the street. So I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So the grown me that has kids that play outside, and I live here. You know what I mean? So that dude has a problem with them selling weed out on the streets like that. You know what I mean? So, but the young me, shit, I might need a little down bad from him eventually. You know what I mean? I better keep in good relationship with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But secretly, like I'm watching, I'm like, yo, this is some dirty, grimy shit y'all doing in my fucking neighborhood. My kids is out here. I joke with Red. We joke, but it really happened. Like, dude, I'm running kids off my lawn these days. You know what I mean?
It comes a point in your life where you're not a street dude anymore. You're a civilian.
Yes, but see, and that's hard for me doing this podcast because number one, I traveled the world, so I had to adapt to my environment. We moved every 5 years, so every 5 years I had to adapt to a new environment. So then at that age that I mentioned earlier about how we moved from Europe and we moved back to the hood, like I lived a street lifestyle and that culture, you know what I mean? The way I talk, the way I walk. I've had chicks be like, "What's wrong? Is your leg hurt?" And I'm like, what, my swag?
Yeah.
Are you referring to my swag? No, my leg don't hurt. That's gangster stuff right there. You don't know nothing about that. You know?
Yeah, man.
But,
No, my swag is fine, thanks.
Yeah, but it makes me think I'm in my 40s. You know what I mean? I got a receding hairline. You know what I mean? It's like, how gangster am I?
It hurts now.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And I'm not real sure, Paycheck. I was just thinking about it. I'm not real sure how they rank in gangs and how gang ranks and shit work, but I'm pretty sure you're an OG now. Pretty sure.
Yeah. And you know what? And you're right, because all the stuff that I'm saying right now is the same stuff that them OGs used to say, because it's weird how the hood works. So when I'm in my 15, 16, 17, we have the older generation that just went through what we went through, and now they're like the OGs in the neighborhood now. You know what I mean? It's weird how that works, because once I got older in the neighborhood and then I got into my my mid-20s, then them younger cats that were super young playing football out in the street, now all of a sudden I got to worry about these motherfuckers.
Yeah, dude. All you gotta do is watch an interview with Tookie Williams. He talks about the same shit. You know who Tookie Williams is, right?
Yes, sure. I do.
All right. Tookie Williams is the guy that pretty much founded the Crips, I think. Okay. Right?
Yep. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So they interview this dude in prison, and he talks about this same shit just like this. Maybe not in a comedic way, but he talks about this same shit just like this. So that's what made me think about it. I was like, I'm pretty sure that Paycheck is an OG right now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, might have to call up Tookie and see, but I'm pretty sure.
You ain't calling Tookie up now unless I
he did,
get that media. Yeah.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment, because there's usually two ending results of a lifestyle like that, and that's penitentiary or the cemetery. And my dude, I don't know if I mentioned it prior to the podcast or whatever, but my homeboy just got shot point blank range. You know what I mean? Because he was living that damn life, and I want to mourn, I want to be empathetic, but you know, that's the lifestyle that you live. You know what I mean? You knew that it could go down like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like part of the game, and you want to mourn, but it's hard to mourn things when you know somebody out there doing wrong.
Yeah. And what's weird about the whole hustling thing is, so I knew this cat. He was a real big dealer back in the day. Went to prison for a few years, got out. Now he don't fuck with drugs too much, but he still hustles. Like he can never. He's not. And these kind of dudes intrigue me, and that we've been trying to get him. We want to start a series about what was it, Red? Hustler of the Week or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know cats said they don't sell dope anymore, but they own car lots and tire shops. You know what I'm saying? They don't. They can't do the 9 to 5.
The
So they,
Hustlers Club.
yeah, so they stay on that hustle.
It'd be good to highlight those cats
Yeah.
that have changed their life around and are doing better, who done kind of found another hustle. I think it's important to highlight that type of stuff because we don't see it that often because, like you said earlier, it's usually two ways out the hood, either in the box or in penitentiary.
Yeah. It's weird where I grew up. If I go back there now, all the big dope dealers are now addicts
Yeah. I've seen that a lot too.
or dead or in prison.
Well, fellas, I don't really know exactly how to segue into this, but Halloween is coming up. And we've been talking about race relations for a little while, so I think we need to switch it up a little bit.
Go ahead. Let's switch it up.
Well, I don't really feel comfortable with using the word Halloween. That's a pagan term. This is a pagan holiday right here. This is borderline demonic.
I don't
shit.
give a fuck about the history of Halloween. Everybody knows the history of Halloween. Everybody knows.
Halloween is the podcast is sponsored by Halloween apparently.
Yeah.
Right. So why would we not know that shit if why would they sponsor our podcast if we don't know that shit already?
That's Red's people. I don't get down with motherfuckers like that. That's the most.
All Hallows Eve.
That's the most demonic shit.
Or as the white man calls it, Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Halloween. Trick or treating and whatnot.
Delvin, did you grow up trick or treating?
Yeah, actually I did.
Yeah, your family celebrate Halloween?
When I was a kid, yes. I want to say interesting thing about it now is and this is gonna be shocking, but my soon to be ex-wife, Spanish.
Oh shit! Of course, you live in Miami.
Yeah. So but my kids didn't grow up celebrating Halloween at all.
Yeah, because that's a big. They're probably a big Catholic family, ain't they?
Yeah, they don't. Halloween's a no-no for them. And when I first got with her, she didn't want to celebrate Halloween or Christmas. So I told her straight up, "Fuck that. We celebrate Christmas." Her family didn't do the Christmas thing. I said, "Well, fuck that. We're celebrating Christmas. You get rid of Halloween. I'm not getting rid of Christmas." That was my whole caveat.
Right.
I just go buy candy and be straight on Halloween day.
So your kids didn't do any trick or treating?
Nope, I haven't done trick or treating ever.
What?
Never.
Yeah,
Usually, what I do, see, I think I told you about this. Ray. I say I have something that's going to shock you, and this is it. Yeah, they've never been trick or treating before. What I usually do is I just buy a bunch of candy and give it to them, straight up like that.
Did you make them say trick or treat before you give it to them?
Make them say each time they want a piece of candy. What do you say? What do you say?
Yeah.
And the cool thing I will say about it is usually I can buy the candy the day after Halloween, and it's all like 50 to 60% off.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something. So I just have a bunch of candy in my house till like the end of November, like all kinds of Snickers and stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So what did they say when you go to Walmart or somewhere and there's costumes everywhere and little kids is running around picking out costumes and shit? They don't wonder why they can't do that?
At first, they did a little bit, my son particularly, but since they never experienced, they never really cared about it. And also add that because I'm a big comic book guy,
Right.
they just wear costumes all the time of the year.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we go to like comic book conventions sometimes and stuff like that, and they can just want to be Spider-Man, we can buy your Spider-Man costume.
Gotcha. Now, at any time when you buy candy and just let them have it or whatever, do you not like try to sneak in a little pagan tradition every now and then and do something with them under the table that mama don't know about, with the candy or nothing?
No, not really, because I never gave a fuck about Halloween. I like Halloween as a kid and stuff like that, but Halloween was never one of those holidays where I was like, oh, we gotta go, especially now because Miami is so different than what it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, Halloween was a big deal. You go house to house. I used to go looking like the Charlie Brown ghost, which Charlie Brown used to wear the little the sheet over his head.
With the holes cut in it?
Yeah, I used to wear some shit like that. And we go trick or treating, and all the houses had candy. And as I got older, I noticed less and less houses having candy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like to the point where it was like almost no house had candy. And then the thing became, well, you want to get candy, you go to the mall. So everybody started going to the mall.
Yeah.
And then the mall stopped having candy. So now it's kind of a thing where I barely see kids trick-or-treating now.
You got, ironically enough, now I don't personally participate in Halloween. It's against the things that I believe in. But I humor my kids. I let them do Halloween. You know what I mean? If you want to walk around and go get candy, I'll walk with you, whatever. But I personally don't celebrate it. But how ironic is, same story that you just mentioned, how ironic is it that most trick-or-treating places here in Jacksonville are at churches? That's where we go to get candy at church.
It's called trunk or treat.
Yeah, trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some times where I want to walk up in there and be like, who's running this shit over here? Do you have any, this is a church, right? Y'all know what y'all celebrating in here, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how that works out.
It's not the holiday of Halloween. They normally celebrated under the guise of fall festival.
Yeah.
They're trying to take the spark out of Halloween and turn it into something else.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but Halloween is based off of Satanism and all the paganism and all that shit. It's really got a negative connotation to it if you want to be a realist and really understand what the Valentine's Day, for example. Are y'all familiar with St. Valentine's? I mean, y'all know that.
Yeah, we are.
But think about it, how crazy it is that we have holidays around these motherfuckers.
Well, I have a lot of things about that. Just think about Columbus Day, which is coming up.
Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, that's some old bullshit.
The biggest fraud holiday I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell people this all the time, and it's hard not to be considered a conspiracy theorist. And maybe I consider myself.
Wait a minute, what was that? What
kind
of what
conspiracy theorist?
That ain't what you said.
What did you think I said?
This motherfucker said a conspiracy theorist. Oh shit, that was good. Continue. Sorry.
Oh man.
See, you made me lose my train of thought.
All right, Delvin, real quick, man. What do you remember, like your earliest memory of trick or treating, as far as what you dressed up as? You didn't dress up as the Charlie Brown ghost every year. So what do you remember dressing up as?
I remember one year, had to be like 6 years old, living in the hood. I remember dressing up. Let me say this clearly, so people don't think anything else. As a hobo. HOBO. Hobo.
Hobo.
Yes.
As in a bum, as in a homeless person.
Yes. To make sure I say that very clearly, where I put on these big old floppy shoes, I think my brother's on, and like raggedy tatted clothes, which wasn't hard to find because I was broke. I was like outfit, and just went around, like my mom put makeup on me and stuff like that to make me look like the clowns that you used to see. You
didn't put blackface on, did you, Delvin?
No, I did not put blackface on. I did put white paint on though. I think I did have white paint.
Dude, that's cool. That's cultural
appropriation.
Yeah, how dare you?
Of white culture.
Yeah, but you know what? Speaking on that, I'm a truck driver, so I just ride down the road, and I think, and I've been hearing a lot about that lately. Say it again. It's cultural what? Appropriation. Yet I see black chicks with blonde hair all the damn time here in Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on here?
See them with pink hair. It all kind of hair they put in their head.
But see, there is a big difference between a black household and a white household.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of white folks don't get the opportunity to go into a black household and see how they live, and vice versa. Like I remember learning the first thing that threw me off, or that was different from my household, was the hair situation for females. You know what I'm saying? So with females, they always have their hair is a little more
coarse.
Yeah, well, yeah, the maintenance is there's a little more involved to the maintenance of a black female's hair as opposed to a white female's hair, right?
Yeah, and way more expensive.
So wait a minute. So is it because their hair doesn't grow?
Oh, it grows. It just grows coarse.
Really?
That's right. It grows a lot of like my daughter has long hair, like her mother, but it's a little bit. It's not as loose and light as like white women's hair is. It's a little bit more harder and coarser, so it kind of takes a little bit more brushing to do. But it grows. Her hair is pretty long.
But see, but all the stereotypes, they're wrong, man.
Oh yeah,
like for real,
Are
like
we really talking about black people hair right now?
yes.
no, I'm talking about culture. Black people hair just happens to be a part of. It's like a subtopic of the topic.
Black people hair is a culture?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, it is. Hey, what?
Black women in particular put so much emphasis into their hair.
You ever? I got something to ask you, Paycheck. I got something to ask you.
Wait a minute. You ever ran your hair through a black woman's hair?
I have. Yeah.
No, you haven't. Not without getting in trouble. You don't run your hand through a black woman's hair.
Yeah. Fuck up their weave if you want to.
Wait a minute. You about running like seductively or what?
Anyway.
I've gotten a fight with a black girl at school one time and snatched her hair and yanked a big old piece out of it. It wasn't a weave or nothing. It was hair. Yeah. I've had my hands on.
Well, I wasn't talking like that. I mean, that's a bit aggressive. You might want to tuck that in the vault. You might want to admit that.
I mean, it was. Delvin knows I'm a recovering racist, so shit like that used to happen to me whenever I was in school.
But yo, if you think for 1 second we didn't have a pitcher of Kool-Aid in my fucking refrigerator at all times, then you crazy.
That's racist, man.
And I'm from the South, so
what does Kool-Aid got to do with black people? Why are you bringing up?
I just said that a lot of the stereotypes aren't true. Like Kool-Aid in a refrigerator is not
pushing some boundaries here, sir.
Yeah, and pushing
Kool-Aid. The funny thing about Kool-Aid is kind of a Southern delicacy. Like every home has Kool-Aid and Tang in it.
Yeah, so I don't know why he's trying to tie Kool-Aid to black people.
It's a stereotype.
Where you go? I have never heard that.
Come on, you never heard about grape Kool-Aid in a black household?
People think that. People think that black people just have Kool-Aid in the house. They think white people just have Tang.
Dude, I've never had Tang in my refrigerator ever.
Tang is shit. What are you?
I've had some Food Lion orange juice in that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Well, I've had Food Lion orange juice. I know that specifically, yes.
But never have I had Tang.
What?
No. But ironically enough, I grew up in Europe and I grew up playing soccer. And Pele was the big soccer player of my day in Brazil. And he had a Tang commercial. I remember watching this damn commercial. But anyway, I was talking about how, you know, in the grand scheme of things, these labels that people put on people and they put them in boxes and they say they're this or say they're that. To be honest with you, in my mind, I'm not a white dude. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Christian. I'm none of that shit. I'm Paycheck, and I just happen to be a life form that is on this earth trying to manipulate it to my benefit as much as I can, and trying to be on my deathbed with a smile that, you know, I died happy and I died peaceful.
That's a good way to look at things.
And peaceful.
You are you're definitely a white man.
Yeah. No. How can you say that? Listen.
Because
I white boy it up on. Okay, let's back up to. I've had this conversation with you, Red, about who do you want? Who is Paycheck? Which personality of Paycheck am I? Because I'm gangster, but I'm country. You know what I'm saying? I'm also somebody's dad.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because Delvin's with us tonight or what, but your hood has come out super thick tonight, and I don't appreciate it.
That's because we started off interviewing a drug dealer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we're out of character now. You can talk. You can be Paycheck. This hood thing, I'm real uncomfortable with it.
Oh, well, hello there, guys. Hello, guys. Hello there, peers. But see, for me, speaking English is equivalent to a Hispanic guy speaking Spanish from Mexico and a guy speaking Spanish from Puerto Rico. If
Two
a
different
white guy,
pronunciations.
absolutely. So as a white guy speaking Spanish, when they teach you in school, hola, ¿qué pasó? To a Spanish guy, you sound,
Like a fucking moron.
hello, how are you? Like a straight up white boy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a white guy. Hello, how are you? Nobody talks like that.
You got to put the stank on it when you say it. You can't just
Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody talks like
hola,
that.
que paso. Who the fuck talks like that?
Yeah. So when I talk, I have to be cautious on the vernacular that I use, depending on who I'm with or the situation that I'm in. And Delvin, I sold leather jackets as my first job out of prison in Florida. Do you have any idea how hard it is to sell a leather jacket in Florida?
In fucking Florida.
But yo, this is how I was able to do it. Black folks come in, yo, what's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? My name's so and so. Hit me up if you if you need anything or whatever. Some old folks would come in, hey, how y'all doing in there? Hey, come on in.
You did it.
I'm able to relate and communicate accordingly to a wide variety of people.
Delvin don't talk like that.
Because maybe Delvin didn't grow up the way I grew up.
So you talking like that just because he's black?
No, because it's look, it's just like a soldier knows a soldier, right?
I feel like you're doing some borderline racial shit right now.
No. That's because you're
trying to impersonate a black man, and I don't think I feel comfortable with it.
dude. At no time have
Rank is over here going.
I.
He can't. He's fucking having a conniption fit over here. You can't. I mean, this is borderline shit, dude. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to put this episode out or not.
But the irony is that what you're doing is actually racist.
No,
you're insinuating that when I walk into a mall, there's a white section and a black section.
Dude, you just talked about blacks and Kool-Aid, so don't tell me.
Is that not a stereotype?
You brought it up. You said something about the stereotype. I had no idea it even existed.
Yeah, so you have no idea about black folks in Kool-Aid?
That is a stereotype.
Dude, I've never heard that before ever. Chicken, yes. Watermelon, yes. New grape soda, yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
That was super insensitive. Watermelon? Oh, dude, come on, that was out there. Frank. This motherfucker says watermelon.
I don't even like watermelon, honestly.
Dude, I grew up with watermelon in my damn house.
I hate
that. That automatically makes it not racist, right? Just because you like watermelon?
No, that just means I have street cred.
Because you eat watermelon.
Yeah. I was like, yo, I ain't racist. I got a watermelon in my damn refrigerator right now. Now I'm a little uppity, so it's in individually wrapped triangles.
You don't even cut the watermelon up no more?
No, I get it in triangles. I mean,
that's white privilege right there for your ass, Delvin. That's white privilege for your ass right there.
Yeah, but I may just want one slice of watermelon. I don't need a whole fucking watermelon in my refrigerator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but dude, you have to. Dude, okay.
At no point did I say, you know what? I've got a hankering for a whole
watermelon.
Yeah. I don't want to come back from the grocery store carrying two big ass watermelons over my damn shoulders. You know, hey. Yeah.
Anybody want any watermelon?
Yeah.
We're getting ready to feast on watermelon right here. That's all y'all eating today is fucking watermelon.
Hey, do y'all know any black people?
Call Delvin over. You want some watermelon?
Steve, I know we don't talk often, but you know, I'm down in the county.
I got watermelon. Come on down.
We're having an office watermelon party right now, dude. We're all wondering why you're not here, bro.
God, I hate watermelon. Watermelon, gross.
Yeah, I was lying about the whole watermelon thing. I was never a big fan of watermelon either. I was always a pineapple guy myself.
I like pineapple. Pineapple's good.
Yeah, I like pineapple. But you see, there's a stereotype. Like I had an old timer, an old white guy. He was having a bad day or whatever, and he made a comment about the clothes that I was wearing. I was literally wearing a FUBU shirt. You know, I was that guy.
You didn't wear them like 10 times too big for you, did you?
Yeah, because I was skinny. But listen,
Yeah.
I was talking to a few friends of mine, and that's weird that you mentioned that because, as we mentioned earlier, watching the Wu-Tang series and the artist that's playing, or the actor that's playing the RZA, you see how that motherfucker skinny as a motherfucker. So he
Yeah.
puts on two t-shirts, a hoodie, and then all of a sudden this motherfucker looks swole. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's this big motherfucker?
With a little ass head.
Yeah. Well, he's got a big head, but you see this little neck sticking up. Like, good night. What you got under all that?
Yeah, man. Wear 3-4 shirts,
But that's
all of
how,
them 3X's.
that's how I used to rock it back in the day. But because I was
Why
skinny,
though? Why? What's the point?
because I was
That was the
skinny.
culture.
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture.
But see, but whoa. Let me just say this. This was now. I used to sag my pants. It was an argument that my dad and I got into a lot out in the front yard before
What
I
is
walked
it
there.
now? Sagging your
Sagging my
pants?
pants. Yeah.
All right. Hey, do you know what sagging spells backwards?
Gassing? No. I don't know what.
Come on, guys. Write it out on a piece of paper. Shit. I mean, come on, y'all.
Dude, are you so scared in PC that you can't even say it?
Huh?
You can't say that?
It's part of the joke, dumbass.
What would have been funny if you finished it?
I just found it funny that Red just completely blew over that Paycheck said he was wearing FUBU.
Right?
The most blackest clothesline you could possibly wear. It literally stands for us.
For us, by us. Yeah. Yeah.
So you just can see Paycheck in the hood with
Yeah.
a fucking FUBU outfit on.
Yeah. But in my defense, we sagged our pants a little differently than these young cats do these days. Like, my pants were around my waist. They was just baggy a little bit, and they sagged only enough to where you could see the top of my boxers.
Yeah.
That was it.
And they sold them like that. They sold the pants where they were baggy enough where you could do it just like that.
Yeah. But what's going on today, where they're literally up under their ass cheeks.
They're basically off. You might as well just take the motherfuckers off.
So I don't have a problem with that. Do you? But my whole thing is I'm all about survival, and if the shit hits the fan, well, I'll be able to survive. That's why I try to stay in somewhat of decent shape. That way I can run if I have to, if I got to jump over a fence if I have to, or if I have to scrap somebody. So every time I see this,
pants off real quick.
I know I'm like, yo, there's no way that you're gonna be able to scrap with me right now with your pants. You know, you one hand's gonna be holding them up the whole damn time. So I'm gonna box that face out, and that's
I don't
just
want to fight with nobody when their pants are almost off.
Yeah, that's
also that's one fight I can't lose because I feel like if your pants are already almost off, you might fuck me if you beat me in a fight. So no, I gotta beat the shit out of you. If your pants are almost to the floor, you told you want to fight me, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you because I am scared of the outcome of losing that fight. Wake up and shit. Why my ass hurt?
Yeah, we didn't rock them that low back in the day.
Oh man. Funniest thing about this is supposed to be the Halloween special. We may have said 3 words about Halloween.
We peppered some Halloween in there. This is the most fucked up Halloween special ever. I think I might even change the name. Paycheck and Red's most fucked up Halloween special ever.
Nothing about Halloween.
See, now I grew up celebrating Halloween because being on a military base, you know, it's kind of the same thing that Delvin was talking about, how the whole community or the whole neighborhood kind of gets involved. So there was so much candy. We would actually come home in the middle of it and empty out and this is how hood we were, empty out our pillowcases.
Pillowcase.
Yeah. And then, and
if
go
you didn't
around.
have a pillowcase, if there wasn't a dirty pillowcase in the clothes hamper, you could use a Walmart bag.
Yeah. But a pillowcase, you can get more in it. And we had an issue growing up of bag snatchers. The older kids would come running through there and try to snatch your bag or whatever. You was one of them?
Mm-hmm.
You was snatching little kids for their bags?
Dude, when I got older.
Little boys? Last week, Halloween fell on the weekend.
Dude, I wasn't doing it when I was a kid. I was getting bag snatched when I was a kid. That gave me the idea to do it when I got older.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I've been on the receiving end of that.
Dude, I've been walking down the street with a fucking sack full. I'm talking like almost had to two-hand that motherfucker and walk it down the street. Motherfuckers come walking down the street and just take it and run with it.
Did you have to go home to your daddy and tell him what happened?
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble?
Stole my. Why would I get in trouble for somebody stealing my candy?
Because you old puss ass motherfucker.
Okay, try to defend your sack of candy when a motherfucker runs by and just snatches. It's like an early version of purse snatching. You know what I mean? They just run by, snatch your bag, and haul ass.
If I went home and told my dad that I got my candy snatched from me, he'd be like, "No, you didn't." no, you didn't. I'm like, I think so. And he's like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "Well, let me go back outside and see that."
Let me go try that again.
Yeah. Hey, you're right.
I got my candy back, Dad. Look.
Yeah. But I remember having, but see, and I think, you know, we've talked a lot about society and the way it is currently and the way it used to be, and that was another thing that I think we're lacking is, you know, not only a dad being in a life, but you know, learning shit from your dad. You know what I mean? Like, I learned a lot of shit from my dad that I won't do with my kids, but I also learned a lot of shit from my dad that I would pass on to my kids. But that's to find that line. Like, I remember before I had kids, I was talking to a bunch of guys. I was trying to figure out how to be a dad, and I was talking to one guy, and I had an opinion about something that he said, and he was offended that I had an opinion, and he was like, "Well, how can you have an opinion? You don't have a dad." And at first I was like, "Yeah, you're right, my bad." But then I thought, well, I have a dad. You know what I'm saying? I saw some shit that he did that was fucked up, and I'd never do that to my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Definitely. Yeah. It's experience.
It's and I fucked up and told my oldest daughter, my two oldest ones, we were in a little argument, and I told them, sometimes I have to eat crow. Sometimes I have to come back and I have to apologize. I made a mistake. I got on to you when I shouldn't have gone on to you because I didn't know the whole situation. I came in, saw a bunch of them fighting and carrying on, so I halted everything. You know what I mean? I just yelled at people, and then I say, you know, nobody gave me a book when y'all were born on how to be a dad or whatever. So years go by. Now my daughter is 17 years old, and we get into a little argument because she don't call her dad to check up on her, and she says, "Well, I'm sorry. Nobody gave me a book on how to be a damn daughter." I was like, "Yo, you just like your damn mama." And that's why I left her ass.
Being like her daddy.
Yeah, you next, girl. I'm leaving your ass next. But, you know, that's another thing that I like about doing podcasts is that, you know, and you mentioned it earlier about being able to cover topics that, you know, I think guys talk about. Oh, okay. Let me back up. So, depending on the friendship and the relationship, most guys don't talk about the shit that we talk about, but they should.
They should. Honestly speaking, yes, they should.
Right, because I think a lot of the problem is that some people don't have an information highway, if you will. You know what I'm saying? They're secluded and they just talk to their friends who have lived in that same shitty town that they've always lived in, and their parents always lived in, so they don't have access to, you know, information. And when's the last time a friend of yours, a guy friend, built you up?
Doesn't happen often.
Right? That's crazy, ain't it?
When was the last time a friend of yours built you up, Paycheck?
Yeah, they don't. I would like for one of my friends to be like, "Hey, Paycheck, man, those are some nice jeans." You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. You asking for compliments or to talk you up when you feeling down?
No, talk me up like, you know.
I'm not gonna compliment you on your jeans, motherfucker. You sure do look good in them jeans, Paycheck.
Yeah, hey there, hey there.
Hey now, he must work out.
No, I mean, but damn, Paycheck, dude, are you doing squats at the gym, bro? You know, something like that. Boost me up. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna. No. That ain't never gonna happen.
No, see, that's the problem with society.
I might say, "Damn, bro, your beard's looking good today." I've done that before.
I'm pretty sure you've complimented me on my traps one time.
I am not gonna compliment you on your ass, your glutes, your jeans.
Listen, if I ever in conversation use the word glutes, You know what I mean? That's a fucking problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop me right there. Don't even let me go any further.
Yeah. Glutes.
I don't know what you workout guys call them now. I don't know what they are.
Us workout guys.
Yeah, you're workout guys.
Oh. We like to be called individuals. If that's all right. If that's all right
Workout
with you.
individuals. Did I just assume your gender?
Yeah,
Yes.
you just assumed my fitness capabilities.
Oh man.
Do you even lift, bro?
No, I don't. I do 12-ounce curls sometimes, though. I do that.
No, you're being modest. Tell Delvin how much weight you've lost in the past couple months.
About 12 total now, actually.
That's good. That's great.
Look at him taking control of his life.
Dude, it's keto. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't believe in the
Yeah.
keto thing, but I
I've
like to
altered
talk
it and
about
made it my
forcing
own, so it's not really keto.
Wait. What now?
I've altered it and tweaked it a little bit and made it my own. You know what I mean? My diet is based on the keto diet. Let's put it that way.
He was like, I'm gonna do the keto diet, but I like bread and shit, you know. So
This is the Redo diet. This is the Redo diet.
So I'm gonna continue to eat the same thing I've been eating, but I'm gonna tell people that I'm on the keto diet, pretty much.
Pretty much.
No, dude, what?
It's like I'm a vegetarian or I'm a vegan, but I eat dairy though. I mean,
Yeah.
dude. And I eat meat like only on Thursdays though. Should we take a break and let you talk on the phone or whatever it is you're doing with your electronic device that is actually against CWPR?
I'm taking notes, actually, if you really want to be a dick about it. So, fuck off.
Well, you know policy about being on electronics during a live broadcast. Sorry about the
It's
disrespect.
not a live broadcast. That's a whole totally separate rule, which is not a live
So I'm feeling pretty live right now, motherfucker. I don't know if I do, but I'm live and direct.
Oh man.
So, Delvin, what's your favorite scary movie?
That's a good question, actually. That's
Come on, man.
currently probably the first Saw movie I like a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's my
love-
first. That's my favorite Saw movie out of the series. The first one.
First one's really good.
Yeah.
But
Good.
old school, probably Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
3, not the whole series?
What,
I
what,
like the whole series, but 3 is the first one I think I watched.
So you
Red,
watched
why
3 first?
Yeah, 3 is the first one I think I watched because my uncle. This actually fits in Halloween perfectly. When I was a kid, my uncle used to have a huge cassette tape collection. I mean, like 100 cassette tapes and stuff like that. I was probably like 6, 7 years old,
Right.
and I would go through his cassette tapes and watch the movies. And he had stuff like all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, all the Friday the 13th at the time.
Right.
He also had movies like Sleepaway Camp,
Uh-huh.
Halloween 1 and 2. So I would just sit in and just watch those. But I didn't know. I was like probably like 7, 8 years old. I didn't know what a horror movie was at that time. So I would just sit down and watch these movies all day long. Like, so it kind of made me immune to scary movies in a sense. Like, scary movies don't scare me at all whatsoever.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
Red was under the impression that your favorite scary movie would have been like Snoop Dogg's Tale from the Crypt.
I remember that. I remember that.
No, dude. Snoot, no. Bones.
Oh, Bones is the that was bad. I remember that one too.
The TV series about the medical doctor?
No, it's a Snoop
Oh,
Dogg.
you cannot tell me you from the hood if you ain't never seen Bones.
Bone Tugs and Harmony?
It's
I mean, where was Tugs and Harmony at?
They was out watching this movie.
That movie was awful.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
Bones?
Bones. Yeah, Snoop Dogg was in it.
Oh.
It is on Hulu, actually. Look it up. It's actually. It's
Don't
actually
watch
good.
it. Just look that shit up.
Yeah, just check it out.
It's not good.
I'm not a big horror fan. Similar to what Delvin was talking about, we because we lived in Europe a majority of my childhood, we only had one channel, so we didn't get to see all the movies and shit. But what we would go to Blockbuster and we would rent a movie, and we would come back and my parents would record it. so we could get 4 regular movies on one VHS tape. So we would have shelves, a 3-tier shelf full of movies, and we'd have my mom created a book that you could go through and you can pick a movie that you wanted to watch, kind of like the whole Blockbuster deal. But we had every Poltergeist, every Nightmare on Elm Street, every Friday the 13th, every Rocky, every Rambo, every anything that had a trilogy or whatever.
You think you're better than me?
Dude, I never really liked horror films. I'm not into that weird, demonic or killing people. It does me no good watching somebody get skinned alive.
It's because you're not woke, man.
No, I think that the problem is that I'm woke.
No, it's because you're not woke.
Dude, there's way too much ugliness in the world for me to want to watch that dirty, grimy shit. Delvin, did you hear about the what was it, like a mini series or a story time with Red or something that you did on another podcast?
A story time with Red? No.
What is it? What's the premise behind it?
It's
not the story, but the event. Were you doing a podcast with somebody?
Yeah, me and Brandon Fisher do just a podcast, and our Halloween special was going to be us reading stories of the horror and sick, demented nature.
Yes,
so
I've heard about this.
So Red reads a story of a guy who's supposedly doing God's work and kidnapping young women and cutting their legs off and cutting their arms off and acid in their face and gluing their eyes shut and just all kind of, and then raping a fucking torso so they can have a baby and they can give it up and sell it for people who want to adopt a baby. That's the kind of weird shit that Red's into. He's probably he probably masturbated the whole time I gave that. I was saying that. Is your cock out right now, Red?
No.
Are you aroused?
No, not in the slightest.
I just felt he should know the company that he's keeping.
Delvin knows about it. Delvin has a copy of it. Delvin's listened to some of it if he hasn't listened to all of it yet.
I listened to some of it. Some of the story. It's he did a good job reading it.
Yeah, I told him that I enjoyed the delivery. I think the accent or he was able to individually characterize each character. But the storyline was just too gruesome for me. Yeah, I couldn't even get all the way through it.
Yeah. Brandon's a unique dude.
What?
I said Brandon is a unique dude. That's
yeah, he is.
That's Brandon's bag right there.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's all for entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we made that comment to where racism is accepted as long as it's through comedy. Homophobia is accepted. Think about all your big time comics: Cat Williams, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. You know what I'm saying?
We can't be name dropping like that, dude. We can't be name dropping like that.
Yeah,
we ain't got that kind of clout.
But they talked about all those things.
Yeah. Definitely did. All of them talked about
all of
race,
sex,
everything.
Homosexuality. They used words that we wouldn't use.
I like the way you say homosexuality.
Yeah, I don't feel uncomfortable. My mouth almost doesn't form enough to say that.
Yeah, I don't think I feel comfortable the way you enunciate the words.
Listen, I'm comfortable with my sexuality.
I ain't questioning your sexuality. I don't feel comfortable the way you say homosexuality. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure that the words
I'm triggered
a whole lot better coming out of my mouth than going into my mouth. I mean that's where I draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well there you have it. There's we got our boy Delvin on with us. He's a retired philanthropist.
That's correct. Street philanthropist.
Yeah, street philanthropist. Medium, podcast host. We'd like to give you the next little bit to plug anything you want to plug.
He's also Paycheck and Red's first black guest host.
Well, wait a minute.
For the record.
I don't think you can call him. I don't think Black is PC. Frank, can we say Black? He says it's up to Delvin.
Black is fine. Don't say the other word.
I would never do that, Delvin. I would never.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man.
Not now. He wouldn't. Well, tell us about what you got going on. Where can they find you at? Where can they hear you at?
Just check out the Delvin Cox Experience anywhere you listen to podcasts, man. That's the main one you want to check out. I love doing it. Got to have you guys on there real soon to talk about you guys and stuff. It's been great, man. It's been fun. It's been fun to be on this podcast.
Yeah, if you notice that we like to shoot from the hip a little bit. We like to just roll with it. You know what I mean? We never know what direction we're going to go in. Sometimes Red has to babysit us and reel us back in. But that's why we love it.
Sometimes.
So give our listeners an idea on, again, I know you did in the beginning, but what is the Delvin Cox experience? I'm sorry, I said Delvin Cox. I meant to say.
I'm not talking about his dick here. Okay?
Yeah, I meant to use the plural of cock. You know, which is
many cocks,
which is coxing.
More than one Cox.
Yeah, it's just a podcast about diversity. I think the tagline's even I'm on a one-man mission to unite culture through diversity. That's just what it's about, man. You can hear any and everybody on that podcast talk about any and everything. Like Jason Albee was on there from Shit Happens When You Party Naked. Po Boy was on there. You talking craziness. I've had a lot of people on there. Like I said earlier, I had Rodney Barnes, who wrote the Wu-Tang series. Just a diverse group of people on there, and it's really cool. I think you guys should check it out. I think you really like it.
Well, I have checked it out, and I like it. And you talk about a lot of things that I like to talk about. Red, when he was telling me about you, he mentioned that a few topics that you had or that you were talking about or something like that was right up my alley. So I'm definitely in on any kind of collaboration you want to do. I'd be honored to be a guest.
Yeah, well, you're welcome on anytime, brother. I've told Red that off it, by the way. I've told Red that both of you guys are welcome on anytime.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It's I don't know if you know this or not, but I mean, we're big time now. Okay, so we're gonna need to plan and maybe get your secretary to call our secretary. You know what I mean? I don't know if you noticed, but we're in a lot of we're pretty big in Bangladesh right now.
I saw that. I saw that.
We are the number one podcast in Bangladesh. Write it down.
Yeah, shout out, what up, Bangladesh?
Yeah, that's like my friend Mikhail Casanova. He's Hawaii's number one podcaster.
Shoot.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
Like, actually?
Yeah, he is. He's Hawaii's number one podcaster.
Huh. Yeah, we're just number one podcast in real obscure places.
Yeah. Yes.
in remote villages.
We don't have like a direct area that listen to Paycheck and Red. It's more of like we just sprinkled our shit across the world, and there's a little bit over here, and 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 a little bit over here. You know what I mean? So we've got a pretty good reach. So if anybody listening, go check out the Delvin Cox Experience. Why he doesn't have a podcast called the Black Cox Podcast, I don't know.
That's gonna be the sister podcast.
But it might be around in the future. Who knows?
The Black Cox Experience.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. The Black Cox Experience.
Oh man.
Yeah. So there you have it. Paycheck and Red's unofficial Halloween special.
Which I do not support, nor do I participate.
That's why we didn't talk about Halloween, because Paycheck's a fucking a party pooper, and he doesn't believe in it, so he thinks everybody else shouldn't have to believe in it. So we talk about something else. But this is supposed to be our Halloween special.
Well, this is kind of your fault, Red, because you brought your first black co-host on the show. He's like, fuck this. Well, I got a black person. I'm going to ask all the fucking questions.
Yeah.
Yes, I want answers to all my black questions.
Yeah, but see, I don't have a lot of black questions because I grew up.
You are indeed black yourself, right?
Yeah, I have a friend that is black, actually.
Paycheck is black on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm black from the waist down, but just to my kneecaps. from the waist to my inner thighs. I'm like, the rest of me is all white. I do tan pretty easy though, so I mean, you know.
There you go.
All right, well, there you have it. There's another episode, Paycheck and Red. Appreciate y'all hanging out, and that's really all the time we have tonight. So,
But here's
see ya.
And here's
Oh,
one more thing to think about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Red.
See, you fucked it up. But anyway, never mind. You fucked it up anyway.
All right.
Fucked it up anyway.
That is actually all the time we have for today, motherfuckers. See ya.
Later.
You've been listening to the Conversations with Paycheck and Red podcast. Check out Paycheck and Red on Facebook at Paycheck and Red and Twitter at Paycheck and Red. And don't forget to subscribe to Paycheck and Red on YouTube at the Paycheck and Red podcast.